Hi folks, Rodney back again with Rodney's Northwest Riding Reviews. I'm waiting for my riding buddy to show up, and then we're going to head out and ride. But I wanted to give you just a quick update on the KO3 tires. I put these tires on within 500 miles of when I got the vehicle, and so it's I currently have 4,100 miles. So I have 3,600 miles of driving kind of experience and impressions on the tires themselves. I have mentioned early on that they have a tendency to pick up tires. So, one of the areas that we ride in, we drive down a road that's about 3 miles long, and for about 10 minutes afterwards, I have to pick out all the rocks out of the tires. Otherwise, they fling them up the side of my truck. And so I'll kind of cover that here in just a moment. But the other thing is that I noticed that it seemed like when the truck was cold, it almost felt like there was flat spots on the bottom of the tires. And it would be that way for about a half mile until I kind of got the tires warmed up a little bit, and then it would kind of smooth out and I wouldn't experience that anymore. Here's the other extreme, and this is actually a good situation. So we've kind of had a heat wave, and so it's been up over 100 degrees here in Oregon, and obviously we don't get that kind of temperatures most of the time. Most of the time in the summertime, in the heat of the summer, it'd be probably around 90 degrees. But anyway, it's been up over 100. The one thing I did notice about the tires in the heat is that they were like butter smooth. I mean, extremely smooth. And I noticed that a couple different times on several different days. And I'm like, wow, this is really strange. It is so smooth. It's almost like you were just kind of gliding on air. And so I would like some feedback. So if anybody has these tires and you live, in one of the warmer climates, Arizona, Texas, it's any of the southern states where it's over 100 degrees, what is your driving experience? Have you noticed any situations where it felt like, maybe the layers of the tires are, not set, how I want to say it, not suited for this extreme heat? Or does it perform even better and it's just naturally smooth that way? So give me some feedback on that. The other thing I want to talk about is I've had several different people have commented about the rock chips that I'm getting on the truck. And so one of the things that I've noticed, and it's funny, the 5-foot bed on these, the fender flare and the contour of the bed is different than what it is on the 6-foot beds. And I didn't notice this until just the other day. Well, I was thinking about putting some of the film that they do to help protect from rock chips. I was thinking about doing that on the inside of the fender flare. And then I got to think about, well, that really doesn't solve the whole issue, because a lot of times it's flinging up rocks up the side of the bed or the truck. And it's not just that fender flare back there. That's where you notice it the most, because that's where you can see most of the rock chips. So one person commented, well, just put running boards on there. Well, I don't think that's the answer either. Number one, I don't need running boards. Granted, these are 33-inch tires, and it does lift it up a little bit more in the front than so in the back, because it just kind of levels it out. And then the other thing that I don't really care for on running boards is that when you step out of the truck, a lot of times it has a tendency to, get dirt or mud or whatever on the back of your pant leg when you're getting out. And so because I wear slacks to work all the time, that's not a good situation either. So, that eliminated too. I've been looking for some good mud guards or mud flaps. If you guys have come across any that you've been able to put on a 2024 model, and there's not many, from what I've seen, there's not many options out there right now. But if you found one and you think it's a good idea and it actually, increases the width, I'm going to step out here for a moment so you can see. If it increases the width, see, I have the standard mud guards on there, and they're just not wide enough. Now, granted, when you look down the side of the truck, my tire sticks inside the fender flare at the top, but down here at the bottom is where it's flinging rocks. But anyway, I've got a few, you can't hardly see them here, but I've got a couple rock chips on the side of the truck, but you can really see it right here. On the way this fender flare is contoured. And like I mentioned, the 6-foot bed is not like that. It doesn't come out like this. It just kind of blends into the bed, and it's just more of a natural, gradual, expansion into the flare. But the 5-foot bed is like that. So, if you guys have any ideas, on some good mud guards, I definitely love to hear it. But these are just not wide enough. And even for the factory tires, I'm sure you'd have the same issue. But because the tread pattern is so close in, it just tends to pick up rocks a lot more so than what the other tires have. So if you guys want a little scenery here, this is Dexter Lake. This is about 15-20 miles outside of Eugene. I think we have some of the Oregon rowing team out there right now. This is the lake that they use for rowing practices and their meets. But this is a dam right out there, but we got Dexter Lake, and then we have another dam, and hopefully the sun's not blinding it, but you can see smoke in the background. Smoke obviously is from the forest fires. Here in Oregon we have a huge issue of forest fires every year, and it's been going on that way for about 10 years. And when I've talked to the people who work in the forest industry, they say that the conservationists are not allowing them to go in ahead and do slash burns and clean up like they have in the past. And so for the last 10 years we've had a lot of issues with forest fires. But this lake is a beautiful lake. In the mornings it's nice and smooth like this. I mean, it's like glass. So if somebody loved to water ski, this would be a perfect time and place to do it. In the afternoons it gets pretty choppy. The wind comes in and it's just not near as much fun in the afternoon, but in the morning it's just like glass. So in Oregon we have quite a few covered bridges, and so we've got covered bridge there. And then the scenery, we have mountains all around. So, if you guys have any questions, any comments, go ahead and send them my way. Also, I will mention, get back inside so you can hear. I will mention that if you have a Tacoma or a Toyota vehicle that you put a deposit on and you're waiting for it to come in, if you go ahead and send me your VIN number, I'll be able to tell you what the current status is on it. I mentioned this in many videos before, but I'm going to say it again. If you have a vehicle that you put a deposit on and it has not been built yet, it will have a temporary VIN number. Once that vehicle is built, it switches from the temporary VIN number to a permanent VIN number. And the way you know the difference is in the last 5 digits of the VIN, you'll see a letter. If there's no letter, it's a permanent VIN, means the vehicle's already been built. But let's say, for instance, they give you a temporary VIN and you're wanting an update on it and the vehicle has been built at that point, then the VIN number would be changed and that temporary VIN will no longer show me any information about the vehicle. So go on ahead and send me the correct VIN number for it, depending on the status, and I can give you a current update on it. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, send them my way. Take the time to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas of things that you'd like to know about the vehicle, feel free to go on ahead and send it that way as well. Thanks again.